my soul. Like heaven come down and bless this place. So bless this stage and give me everything like you are well prepared. Be marching through the streets like we are one again.
All right, so welcome back, everyone. So we are joined now by regional leadership coach, trainer, consultant, author, co-founder of Mind Food International, and United Nations Ambassador Natasha Wright. Ambassador, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Ambassador, it's a pleasure that you have joined us this morning. So I know that you're here to tell us about your work and leadership training. Ambassador, what's the message this morning that you would want to share with our viewers?
The message is simply put that we all are here on purpose and we are all innate leaders. And sometimes it just takes a little bit of activation to get us to operate in our assignment or whatever it is that we're called to do, because we're all called to lead in our area of gifting. And that's pretty much the message. It doesn't matter what you do, you are a leader, and we have to play our part in advancing not just our nation, but the race in general, the whole human race.
And Ambassador, how do we activate people? How do we get that activation of people, Ambassador? How do we get them to see good in themselves and to see themselves as positive people? How do we do that?
That is such an excellent question. And my husband and I, we were actually at a high school yesterday, and that's something that we try to focus on. But, you know, in society today, we have more negative influences than positive. And sometimes it takes us as parents, as teachers, as community leaders to be the one to inspire others, to remind them that they have potential, to help to groom them, because we all can be mentors, not just to young people, but to other adults out there. So it takes other persons, it takes community involvement, it takes everyone working together to help people to understand that we are here for a reason. And yes, we can help to change the same system that we complain about, especially being a Caribbean representative. We complain a lot. We say that there are many things that needs to be changed, but we sometimes forget that we are here to make the change ourselves.
Ambassador, you believe that everyone is born with a gift?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We're all here for a specific reason. And it's something that I've been spending most of my time doing, whether it is that I'm here at home in Jamaica or I'm traveling all over the world. You see, our gifting is similar to a seedling. If you place a seed on a tile or on a concrete, it's not going to manifest into anything. It's not going to develop into anything. But if you are to put the seed in the right soil, then yes, you will get a tree and possibly get fruits out of it. The whole point of that little story or that metaphor is to say that it takes the right environment. I'm sure you have seen where you have two individuals coming from for example, a ghetto area or a poverty-stricken area, and one becomes very successful and the other one remains there. My story is actually similar to that because I was born and raised in a very poor community. But here I am today. We all have a gifting, but it takes the right environment to pull it out of us. That's why I say we all need to work together, because it's going to take individuals to mentor you, to coach you, to remind you that you're here on purpose, and then you need to be in that space that it facilitates that growth and not just stifles you.
Yeah, and Ambassador, I think my personal view is that that is where we have fallen down. To have that, to create that environment from a very young age, and to mold the individual and and also to create a safe environment for everyone, to make people feel that they are worth something, and to understand that they are born with a gift. And I think if we try to do that, well, then the clouds of hopelessness may dissipate. You agree?
Absolutely. You have literally just ignited more more passion and fuel into our discussion, because again, my husband and I, we work in the schools a lot. So we give back by going to the schools, and we're involved in the churches. And when you hear the young people speak, it's so sad. It's so sad to hear them say that, oh, they have to become, for example, a scammer. They have to become just an influencer. They have to, because they don't see the possibility of living right, or they don't think that they're able to do it. And it starts at home. What are they hearing? They're hearing that they're worthless. They're hearing that they're never going to become anybody. They're hearing that, oh, I don't have money to send you to university. And then now it takes external forces like ourselves to say, hey, but there are scholarship opportunities if you study hard, or to say to them that, listen, regardless of what they say about you, it's what you believe to be true about yourself. And if I can mention, of course, what God says about you. And so, yes, we have fallen down, even in our schools. What are we telling them? Our students are not doing well. Are we encouraging them to continue, or are we just telling them that they're a waste of time? And so each and every step of the way, we have to make sure that we are doing and playing our part in the workplace, because I'm an HR consultant, so I see it a lot. People come in, they're bright, they're full of potential, they're excited to work, but by the time they start working with that boss that beats them down or micromanages them, or, you know, makes them feel small, they have lost hope. They have lost their self-esteem. And so we all have our part to play. And yes, we will fail the next generation if we are not letting them know that they're here for a reason and they can be great.
But of course, Ambassador, all of this needs to begin at a very, very young stage. You can't, my personal view again is that you can't come at the age of 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 when the branch has already been bent in a certain way to try to straighten that now. So it has to happen at a very, very young age.
I believe that it needs to happen at a young age. But might I say that the change can happen at any time? It's going to take more work, of course. If the person is in their 20s, their belief system would have already started concretizing, but you can change. Scientifically proven, it takes 30 days to change a negative thought pattern or to change a negative habit. So it can happen, but the idea is to introduce from early that they are here to lead. And even as adults, we have taken on the mindset, and this is coming from the Greeks, about what leadership is, and it has to look a particular way, and you have to be in government, or you have to be doing this, that, and the other. The truth is, whether it is that you clean the streets, you can be the greatest street cleaner there is, and you can get paid so much money, and people can call for you all around the world. I don't think I'm something extra special more than anyone else, but because I have been here in the system in Jamaica, in the ghetto, worked extra hard despite losing both mother and father very early, pushing going to university, and then coming out to share my story. I have just been exposed to so much that today, both my husband and I, we are in the company of mayors of the United States. We travel the world as United Nations ambassadors, and we're in the presence of people that we would only dream of. Where is that coming from? That's coming from the belief that we can make a difference from where we are. And we want people to continue to think like that. Whether it is that you are anchor on TV, you can make the change from where you are. And so you start there and keep building, keep pushing, make sure you're mentoring other people to believe the same. and we can make the difference one by one.
Yeah. And Ambassador, excuse me, tell us a little bit about your story from tragedy to triumph.
Sure. So I was born and raised in a community called Almontown, that's central Kingston in Jamaica, and poverty-stricken area. From as early as 10 years old, I have had some very dark days. Came home from school, found my house burnt down, and it was about 10 of us living there as relatives. So we lost our home, and it was tough. It was tough for us to move on, but we pushed forward. 8 months after I came home, this time I was told the news that my father, who was a police officer, was shot and killed in the line of duty. So I suffered from depression, although not clinically diagnosed, because I was walking around pretty much hoping that someone would wake me up, because I did not want to believe it was true. By the time I got to high school, one particular Saturday, my mother was having an asthma attack. She went to the hospital. She died under treatment. And so this happened on Saturday. The Monday morning, I had 8 CXC exams to sit. And I remember my world caving in at that point in time, because I did not know what to do. I went ahead, pushed through, did those subjects, got 6 2s and 2 1s. So I got all those 8 subjects, pushed into university. My grandmother, who was taking care of my brother and I after my mother died, she died from cancer. I've seen some really dark situations, gun violence, seeing people live in cycles, wondering if I would actually have to continue living that way. But I decided from that time that I wanted to make a difference. I wanted somebody to look at me and say, if she could do it, I could do it too. So I finished my studies in university, started working, was on pursuit of finding what my purpose was, and the rest was just history. From doing morning inspirations, turned into books, turned into conferences, turned into being dubbed Governor General Awardee, to UN Ambassador, and the list goes on and on, on and on. Today, our company, Mind Food International, at its peak had 100 employees here in Jamaica. We're young people, but we are very audacious, and we are faith walkers. And I think that's what led us here today.
Yeah. It's interesting, Ambassador, that you use the word faith, because I'm just listening to your story and I'm just thinking, where did the faith and where did the strength come from?
That's a great question. And it could not have came from anywhere else but just knowing that my life must have a purpose. Here we go with that word again. Like, how is it possible for me to go through all these different things? It must be for a reason. That's what I told myself. I said, God, my life cannot be in vain. And so although I was quite upset with God for a period of time in my life because of what I went through, I said, I am going to search until I find. And I'm a dreamer at heart. I always saw myself doing big things. And so I held on to that and I said, you know what? I want to conquer all those things that my mother and my father did not get the opportunity to do. My father died at 33, my mother died at 38. And so I am very proud to be 35 right now and doing what I am doing. But the faith came from the belief that my life cannot be in vain, and that there is another Natasha somewhere in Trinidad, in Barbados, in the US, in Jamaica, that is waiting to hear my story, so she will have faith herself.
Yeah. Ambassador, we just have a few minutes again. Tell us a little bit about Mind Food International.
Right. So my husband came up with the idea to send out morning inspirations. We did. People loved it. And it turned into people asking us if we had books. So we wrote books. Today we have 3 books out that are published. Turned into conferences. To date, we've probably done about 60 conferences. Our core right now is leadership training. And also we have an HR consultancy arm that does outsourcing, recruitment, succession planning. But Mind Food, the core of Mind Food is leadership development, and everything that we do has that in there. And today we have so many corporate clients that we speak to, and we're expanding to the Caribbean. So we are extremely excited about that. But that is pretty much what we do.
How do people get in touch with Mind Food International?
Okay, so anyone can find me. The best way to find me is on social media. You can just type in my name in Instagram and LinkedIn, and all our details on Mind Food International will be there. We are having quite a number of events in the Caribbean region, but the next event coming up is going to be in Canada, and that's called the Catalyst Leadership Training. And we want you guys to just find us wherever we are and let us know how we can help your organization. So it's at Natassia Wright, NATASSIA WRIGHT, on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, wherever. You will find me and find Mind Foods information, and just reach out to us and let us know how we can assist you.
Yeah, Ambassador, it was a pleasure speaking with you this morning, and I'm sure that a lot of our viewers are inspired from what you have had to say, and also inspired by your story. Ambassador, thank you very much again.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, bye for now. So it's time for another break. We do have this for you from Eldorado Gardens, Nature in My Lens, and it comes from Tyreek Johannes. Tyreek, good morning, and thank you very much for this beautiful photograph. We're coming back, everybody.
So bless the stage and give me everything like you are well